know, you've seen the business. It's going to shit.
What the fuck's happened? Who's pissed on the couch?
But if you piss on me, you're going to have to whoop my ass.
Let me be clear. We're not raping anyone.
So I can jerk myself off. Yeah, we're probably going to do that after the podcast for sure.
Are you worried that your kids are ever going to listen to this podcast?
They got to give all their shit in. Sure, Hurricane Corona sure legit.
We know you love us.
Get another booking. Hey, shut the fuck up.
So what is the theme of your podcast?
Zero theme.
When I power driving, my farted in his face.
Dude, that was sick.
It's What You Talking Boots, hosted by Canadian pro wrestler Rich the Boot Atkins.
Nah, hell, I've been happily married a bunch of times. Who gives a shit? No, I'm just kidding.
So pretty
Have
much
fun, okay?
the
All
intro
right.
and everything I'll pre-record and put that ahead of the interview, so we don't have to do any formal introductions or any of that shit. We can just
Okay.
I'll just
Let's
start
go.
recording and we'll just be talking about whatever.
Okay. That was my dog.
No, yeah, I put mine outside. they were running all over the place. Okay, so yeah, I don't have it for long, so I'm just gonna jump right into it. I was researching a little bit because I know a lot about you, but there's some stuff I've read away as soon as I went on your Wikipedia. Something I didn't know is your father was a wrestler?
Yeah, he was a wrestler in the early 60s, but then he became a referee, and he refereed all the way up to 1985.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you go into the Memphis wrestling, you see my dad on there. He's a bald-headed referee. Got all the he had tattoos before they were cool.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh yes, sure did.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize it said that you were partially trained by him.
No, I was trained. You know what, dude? Are we recording now?
Yeah, for sure. But I'll cut out whatever.
Good. Okay, I grew up in the wrestling business.
Okay.
It wasn't the part about being trained. I just grew up in the business, and I listened and I learned and I talked, and I had my first match when I was 16 years old, and because somebody didn't show up, I put a mask on. It wasn't even heard of then, but I had a great match because I still wasn't great. It takes years to do that, to be able to. To work in our business. But no, it's the same thing. And I got a son that's wrestling. He's been with me ever since. He's been on the road with me ever since he was 4 years old,
Yeah.
And it's very cool, but
Yeah, it's basically just kind of in the blood, right? Like, I mean, you're around it so much, you just kind of pick it up almost as like an instinct.
well, you pick it up a lot. And I have a wrestling school called School of Morton. Matter of fact, I have a live show there this Sunday at 5:05. On School of Morton YouTube. We start back live this Sunday. We've been shut down for 7 months because of the coronavirus, but we still won't have no crowd in here.
Right.
I'm not on the shows. I'm behind. It's called the School of Morton. But my dad used to tell me all the time, he says, to explain to what I'm going to try to tell you right now, I'll be better off talking to that wall.
Yeah.
But one day it's going to hit you. It's like when you first, when you find that magic of music. I don't know if you play music or not, but when you find that magic, it's the same way in the wrestling business. And I had several of the guys, and it was one of my big things is to say, what I'm talking to you about, I'd be better off talking to that wall,
Yeah.
repeating what my dad said. I said, but one day it'll hit you. And I had several of the boys, Chase Owens, Kid Cash, all of them call me. So, man, I finally figured out what you was talking about.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say that because I used to say that. I learned that around 10 years in, that all the advice in the world I was getting, I thought I understood. I thought I get it. Okay, I get what you're saying. But then it wouldn't really set in until one night on a random night in some weird town when I was in the ring and it was happening. And it just, that's when it hit me. It was like, oh, now I get it. Like, now I get what they're saying.
Yes, you get it. It's finding that magic, and it's finding that our business is so much fun when you know how to, when it happens that way. Yeah, our business these days, man, it's just, when I sit back and watch it, when they finally learn that it ain't about hot spot number 1 or hot spot number 2, it's about telling a story. And when you learn to tell that story, and listen to me, a lot of you guys are out there listening to it and you're trying to break in our business or you're getting started in our business. The next time that you have a match, I don't want you to go ask your girlfriend that's telling you how great you are. I don't want you to ask your best friend that is one of the biggest marks in the world for you that tells you that your Hurricane Corona sure look good. Go out in the crowd. Go out in the crowd and find somebody that you don't know. And I mean, truly don't know. And ask them, did they watch your match? And the answer they're going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now, the only thing they're going to remember is the finish. And when you learn how to do that and tell a story for the finish, that's when you start making money in this business. And see, that's what our business has got away from. And it's going to be hard to get it back, but it's going to have to come back. Like it is telling stories in your matches. You know, I'm not here or I'm not there to train you like it's 1985. No, it's 2020. Our business has changed, but there's some things that you can still do to make the people get interested back in wrestling again. Hell, I watch TV and I've been in this business for 40 something years, and some of them I just don't have a damn clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
Nothing makes sense. I don't know who the writers are. Really don't care. But you see, there's a difference in this business, buddy. And I'm not sitting here patting myself on the back. It's a lot of guys that's wrestled this business here, and it's a lot of guys that's wrestled here. But there's only very few that's wrestled here. That when everybody in the territory and the promoters and the bookers depend on you to sell out the cards, then you understand. You know, I never had a contract in my life. I got paid by how many asses were in those seats. And I wasn't doing my job if it wasn't packed every night. And when I had my turn, it was packed every night. And it's not the point about this. And if you want to be in my business, you got to have an attitude like I do. In 1985, in 86, 84, no, I'll go 83, 84, 85, 86. We were the best baby face tag team in this business. And me, I was the best baby face in this business. You hear me? And I'm serious. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. Dude.
I was just talking to somebody, but I was talking to C.W. Anderson about you last week, and we were both in agreement that you were one of our favorite baby faces of all time. And
well, you know, it's the part that's selling. And you see, when you got, if you got the guy you wrestling, and he thinks he's killing you. I just posted a thing on. Well, I didn't. I posted a thing on. You know what's next for me, and I just put a little something on there, and somebody put the thing on there with Oli. Big bumps. It's not me. You tear my face apart, and I'm selling it.
I think I know the match. I think it's the one where you started working his ribs towards the comeback. You started beating him up right in the rib, and he took that big bump on a rib shot when you finally got him. Yeah. Yes,
and see, that's believable.
Yeah.
You know, watch your TV today. I mean, you could shoot a guy with a cannon, and he's going to kick out on two.
Yeah.
Hey, then super kick your ass. All right. So what the hell, man?
Do you think there's room in wrestling for that style? Or do you think it has to go for what's on TV today? How every match is pretty much the same story, but it's
the reason the ratings are the shit.
Yeah.
You know, Vince is WWE is horrible right now. I don't think they're even doing a 0.1, are they? I don't know, but they're doing horrible. Their ratings. What they're doing, and don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's hard to go out and perform with no people in the crowd.
Yeah.
My hat's off to the boys for working as hard as they do, but it's going to have to come apart when you have to start storytelling. And it's not about this big move or this big bump you took. You can still do this without doing that. It's just making the people really believe in what you're doing in your interviews. You don't got to go out and tell everybody you're going to jerk the head off and shut down their neck, because you're not going to. Me, which I went ahead because we worked in a lot of towns every week and sold them out every week. You take this for instance. WWE comes to your town, went back when we was open, once a year and still didn't sell out.
Right.
We were there every week and we sold out because we gave the people what they wanted to see. Now, if you believe in yourself and believe in what you're doing, it makes our business. And this takes a long time to set somebody down and talk to them. Before you can do my business, you have to understand it. And the boys these days that are working in positions they shouldn't be working in, and don't get me wrong, they're great athletes and great individuals and great to work in, but they need to come to the school of Morton and sit down where I can talk to them and get into their head to really make you understand what my business is about.
Yeah.
It's not about that other shit. It's not about me getting my shit in. You see, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to a match and sell the whole match. And it's different. I have to, with me working with Bobby Eaton, I have to change myself because I got to have a whole different match with Abdullah the Butcher. We're not doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And see, guys don't know how to adjust to different people's working because they're too worried about doing their shit, getting their shit in. And you don't need to get your shit in. Just tell that story. I could tell and I used to love to work with the bigger guys. See, because it's so easy to tell a story, and that on the independent circuit, me working, especially, I can still do a lot of stuff in the rings, but I don't have people that understand and they don't understand the business. You meet a lot of guys out there, man. Listen to me, dude. You can either make me look like I'm 64 years old, or you make me look like I'm 23.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just how you do things. You have to adjust I'm 64 years old. Thomas Latimer, he's one of the greatest workers I ever stepped in the ring with. Because you see, it ain't what he does. It's what he don't do. He understands the business. And it really, when I first worked with him, because, they did the same thing at NWA. They kayfabe. They didn't go over to us. We didn't know we was winning the world titles 5 minutes before we went to the ring.
Yeah.
Didn't have time to go over spots. See, we went to the ring and called it all in there. And when I got in the ring with him, I give him the office. He understood everything. You take a guy over in a headlock. I'm 64 years old. I can't get up like he. But he picked me right up to my feet.
Yeah.
You see, that's working.
Yeah.
Guys, you understand that that's working. And then you call a spot. But me, I call a spot like 3 of them in a row, but not to go that fast, 3 in a row. But every time I do something, he would set himself up for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
If it's, I'm going to shoot you a bum with knee lift, he'll go back against the ropes, to sell against the ropes. I don't got to pick him up and take him over here to the ropes.
Right.
You see, it's working in our business, telling that story. And that's why I appreciated working with Thomas. Wow. I don't get an opportunity to get in the rings with guys like that all the time. I'm in there. They're worried about, let's do this spot. Well, no, I'm not going to do that spot. I don't know you. I don't know. You might hurt you. Well, you going to hurt me? You going to drop me on my head?
Right.
I don't know you. So,
do you think that's
I work with
one of the big problems nowadays is the pre-planning and the scripting of performances?
You damn right.
Yeah.
You damn right.
It's almost non-existent nowadays to be able to walk into. If I were to walk into a show tomorrow and go to my opponent and tell them, hey, we're going to call it in there, I'd probably get a lot of heat.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sure would. It's.
Let me ask you this: do you think there's a problem? Do you think maybe that guys have a problem with it because they're not working the same guys all the time, multiple nights a week? They're only they're wrestling for the first time, in a big show, and they're worried that they're going to have a shit match just because they don't know each other and they haven't been working each other, 4 or 5 nights a week and really getting to know each other in the ring.
Well, you need to get out of that.
Yeah,
this is the best guys. The greatest matches that I ever had in my life is we didn't go over one high spot. Our matches with the Midnight Express, we were with Ric Flair. Our time in the business, we still kayfabed. You didn't share the same dressing room. We didn't even see each other. Normally, 9 out of 10 times, you got your finish when you stepped through the ropes in the ring.
Wow.
Tommy Young, and you didn't tell you that you're going to do this and you got to do that, because, especially in NWA, because Dusty had a bunch of guys there that knew what to do. You didn't have to go over, especially on your house shows. Tommy Young would say, "Oh, you guys over," or "The Hills are going to screw you tonight." That's all it was.
That quick.
And you caught it in the ring, and it's the greatest, best matches in the world.
Yeah.
I wore Broadways with Flair. Didn't even know I was doing our Broadway until I stepped in the ring with him. But it was great, man. And since I just mentioned his name, I've been in the ring with a lot of people. And this is one thing that the guys need to learn too. A matter of fact, I'd make an example of that. I was at a show a couple of months ago, and I'm going to wrestle a guy. And he told me, he says, when we go to the ring, some of the people will probably cheer me. and I looked at him. I said, dude, they're going to cheer you because you want them to cheer you. You don't want to be a heel. You don't understand our business, what it's about. And he looked at me like I had a turd on my head. Had no clue of what I'm talking about. But me, I've been in this business forever. They booed the shit out of him. But see, Ric Flair, it's hard. When I first did that angle with Ric Flair, Philadelphia, the biggest heel town there ever was. And I'm going to tell you the truth. The people in Philadelphia don't even like ice cream. They're the meanest. If the world needed an enema, they'd stick that son of a bitch right there in Philly. And I'm serious. The asshole of the world. They don't like nothing. But Ric Flair, he's the world champion. He's the top heel. And we go to the ring, Morton, you suck, man, all kinds of shit. But 10 minutes in a match, they be throwing shit. I remember Rick and I were going to, I said this on another podcast the other day. I didn't want you to think I'm repeating myself.
No, it's okay.
Rick and I were supposed to go an hour that night. And people were, and I'm telling you, dude, 15 minutes in that match, he turned that crowd. They have pushed the guardrails all the way up to the ring, all four sides. They were coming up in the ropes. I was trying to get them off. Arn Anderson comes down. Robert comes down. And Rick said, do a thing with Arn over here where he goes to the floor where the people will look at y'all before I could slide out of this ring. He says, this match is over because they're going to kill me. I'm serious.
You had to plan the escape. Yeah.
Yes, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can still be like that. If the guys will sit down and listen to me and understand what I'm trying to tell you, and I learned so much from Dusty Rhodes. You see, a lot of guys don't understand that if you go back, and I just tell you, all the angles were done with me. With the Midnight Express, stat. Hey, I'm the one they pit with the 10. And the reason why is because Dusty knew that I knew how to get things over. That I knew that I didn't want to be a champion. See, because the people paid their money to see me win the titles.
Right.
But the heels keep screwing me. They don't pay to watch me lose. You hear me? And that's what when you're a champion, you can't make money with holding the belts. The baby faces has got to chase the heels to sell tickets, especially on the independent circuit or a little territory that guys try to run. I like I was telling you earlier, we'll be back on live TV this Sunday on the School of Morton. But several times I put heat on my heels. Several times I had to go to commercial breaks at my school because I had to go out because the marks hit the ring.
Really?
On the heels. Oh, yes. But I'll go off, but I cuss them out too.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my ring. What the, boom. Wow, kill this son of a bitch. But you see, that's what you want the people to do.
Yeah, you don't see that anymore. Very rare that you see somebody get mad enough.
Watch my school of Morton, but I won't have no crowd in there this week. So, but God, they usually do. We had to put up special barricades for some people because look here, and I tell them, do not come across this barricade. They get so mad, but they get you see, you got to have referees, and you got to have what the heels don't know how to keep their heat no more. They put the heat on the referee.
Yeah.
And it really takes, because you have to save that special moment for the referee with a big angle. Okay. In NFL, you see them pushing the referees down. Basketball, you see them pushing the referees down. Yeah, well, hell no. Why don't you do the same thing in our sport? Every night the referee's taking them up. Our referee does this right here. And if you do that, you knock the referee down and he turns around and does. I'm sorry, somebody's at the door. Please go on.
That's all right.
But if you do that, you're only putting heat on the referee. You're not putting it on yourself. And another thing is there's people, the referees don't know how to referee. Come to my school so I can teach you how to referee. You do. When I come into the ring, for a purpose to get your attention, for the heels can, put a little heat on the baby face. But if I come through the ropes and you keep leg diving me and grabbing me and pushing me back, how can we do this?
Right.
They don't know how to stick your arms up. They don't know how to do this. They don't know that you can referee 4 feet back. It's a lot of things that people have got to learn. And it's hard on all of us. And I don't know how in the hell we got to this point, but let's keep going.
Yeah, no, things have definitely changed. Some would say evolved, or some would say the opposite of evolving. It's gone the other way, where it's it's getting worse, and it's losing its credibility. To the point
I'm sorry, man. I'm speaking dog language.
Yeah, no worries.
Wait a minute, just cut me off for a second. Just don't cut me off, but just Hey, bud, what is she doing?
Someone ring the doorbell. I had a FedEx package that rang the doorbell.
Okay, now. Okay, you got it? Okay, now I'm back.
Yeah, no worries, man. We can just cut that part out. It's not a big deal.
All right, cool.
Hey, I got a question for you. This is totally off topic from everything we've been talking about. So, Punky. This was I read the story about the Punky Brewster thing, right?
Punky Brewster?
Was that not the story?
Go ahead.
Okay, well the story reads the story reads you were getting ribbed by Arn. He was calling you Punky Brewster, and then the name stuck, and that's where Punky came from.
No. Tommy Rich gave me the name Punky.
Oh, okay, so I read a completely wrong story. Okay.
Yes, no. There's it's a lot of things. No, Arn Anderson used to call you everything. He called me a Cheshire cat. All kinds. But we were the boys. We all loved each other.
Yeah.
No, I was Tommy Rich that's when he was working in Georgia Championship Wrestling, and he had a little run in with Barnett. So he come back to Memphis as a heel, and he was watching. He wanted to do an angle with me, so he come out there. And that's when I had my hair punked up on top, and today I'm having a bad hair day, so forgive me. But and I can see you got Robert Gibson. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I went away pretty early. I'm 32 and it's gone. Yeah,
I'm just kidding, man. But he, Tommy, come on, Ricky Morton, you punk, Punky, you Punky Morton. That's how I got my name, Punky Morton.
That's where it came from.
And,
okay.
And then Robert, they called him Hoot because there's a wrestler up here named Hoot Gibson. But there's another, years ago, another Hoot Gibson that played baseball or something, I believe.
Okay.
But that's how he got his Hoot. So
that's where it comes from. The ribbing. Was that you guys are traveling all the time back in those days together? Was that a big thing back then, or no, not really?
Well, no. Well, see just messing with each other, like that. But I never really got into the point of, Owen Hart was the worse, man. Jesus Christ.
Right.
But I never got into stuff like that because I had other ways to pass my time. I was in the bar drinking with some girls. You hear me?
Yeah.
So, but, well, I'm serious, man. Owen Hart was notorious. Holy shit. And, a couple of them were. And then when the guys didn't, I've seen them shit in a bag or two.
Oh, that's a bad one.
And I know.
Yeah.
And I remember Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy had a thing where they pissed on you in the shower. Okay. And I was watching them, but I went to Michael and I had a little understanding with him. I told him, I said, Michael, I love you, but if you piss on me, you're going to have to whoop my ass because I'm going to fight your ass. And they never pissed on me.
Well, good. That's a pretty good offense is a good defense. So, I mean, I remember
I know it. I mean, ain't nothing but ass whooping.
There was this one time,
you ain't gonna piss on me.
My buddy, he's actually my brother-in-law. He was being a real dick to me, and he kept coming up to me. We're both wrestlers, and he keeps coming up to me every 2 minutes and making me hold his stuff. He's giving me his water bottle that he's spraying himself down with. He's getting ready to go out.
Yeah,
and he does this like 4 or 5 times to the point where I'm looking at other people like, who does he think I am that I'm going to sit here and keep holding this crap like I'm his bitch? And he comes back and he sprays himself down one more time and he leaves. So I get up and I go over to the catering table, and there's a big jar there full of pickles. So I empty his stuff out and I fill it up with the pickle juice. He comes back. That's good. I hand it to him. He goes out. I follow him out to see where he's going with it. He's standing. It's a big 6-person, wrestling match, spot fest.
Yeah.
And he starts spraying himself down all over his head. He's got long hair. He's soaking it in. Yeah. That guy next to him says, "Hey, can I get some of that?" Hands it to him. He's spraying. And now the whole group of these guys are all just dousing themselves in this pickle juice. They stop for a second. They're like, "Do you smell vinegar? What's that smell?" Yeah. Every single one of them went up. The crowd could smell it. Like there was people in the crowd saying they could smell this pickle juice, that it was that strong.
Oh yeah, that's great. Hey, did you happen to watch the match of me and Joey Janella?
No, you know what?
And we had
I haven't seen nothing new. Huh? Oh, I've seen the pile driver.
Oh yeah. When I power driving, I farted in his face. Oh, it was so fucking funny. But I didn't mean to, man. We hit that thing, look here. And George Janella, man, I ain't never been farted in my face. Oh, hey, it was hilarious, man. I'm trying to have this serious match with him. Me and both are just laughing our ass off. Do you know Joey?
I've met him maybe once or twice when he was up here in Canada, but that's the only time I've ever seen him.
You know what, dude? I don't care what anybody says. I don't. Jimmy Cornette didn't always work in the office, and if he did, he got fired from all of them. Jimmy Cornette wasn't in every meeting. It's just, Joey Janella is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he's a good worker, dude. And all the things that we did in that match, see, Joey did them all. And he protected me from getting hurt. And guys don't understand that.
Yeah.
It makes good workers. And at the first time I met Joey was at his spring break show up in Jersey. And that was the night I was working with Santana and Ortiz. And, that's when the world see me do the Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. All I did, Santana told me. He said, "Here in a minute, he's going to take a big bump." He said, "Come off my partner's back and sunset, flip me, and hold on." Oh, we did. And I see what they did. And then we called it. They set it up. I could see him. He covered Robert. I went right off his back. I sunset, flipped him, boom, this come up. And if you watch the tape, watch me. I'll raise up. I'll go, "What the fuck was that?" the crowd went nuts, and I still didn't know. I had to go back and watch it on the tape.
So what you're telling me, you did a Canadian Destroyer on the fly. Didn't even know you were going to be doing
it. No. He said, "Sunset, flip me, and hold him." I didn't know what a Canadian Destroyer was, but
insanity.
I'm on the independent circuit. It was great, man. I was, wow. What a pop we got. But look at the tape. I'm going this. What the fuck was that? Great people,
That's awesome.
But you see, every once in a while, man, you run into some boys that are absolutely great. It's LAX is what they was called at that time. But
yeah.
Jesus Christ, they were so good. just been in the ring with them, and them knowing at that time I was 63.
Yeah,
that I'm 63 years old, and they made me look like I was 32. you
yeah,
see what I'm saying?
That's great. Besides those guys, besides LAX and MJF, that's actually a good question. Who today do you see out there that you like, or that you'd put your stamp of approval on, as far as what you believe in and what wrestling should be?
A couple of them. I'll go ahead and tell you here on your podcast, but in the wrestling world, FTR, great heel team. If they had some baby faces to work with, and don't get me wrong, you got the young bucks that are the Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy of their generation, but we're all in a different whole wrestling business. The angles are not lasting long enough. But I like them. I like everybody, because if you stop to understand Matt and Jeff Hardy, people have asked me 1,000 times, who is the best worker you've been in the ring with? Mm-hmm. All of them that know how to work is the best I've been in the ring with. Take, for instance, George South. Mm-hmm. He was underneath guy for Crockett. He's a hell of a worker. You hear me? He just had a different position than other guys did. Back then you had your job. I was one of the lucky ones in this business. See, because our business is all about opportunity. Our business is being at the right place at the right time. You hear me? Mm-hmm. When I started my angle with Flair, I heard somebody the other day, well, the reason I started my angle with Flair is because Robert Gibson got hurt and was out. No, that was a different time. That's when I turned with the York Foundation when Robert got hurt. The reason I did my angle with Ric Flair is because Magnum TA had a car wreck.
Right.
And they was grooming him to wrestle Flair. Then all of a sudden, 2 weeks before they're going to do the big deal, Magnum has a car wreck and is paralyzed. You see?
Yep.
So where they going? And just so happened I was in a single match. And Flair seen it. And him and Dusty come to me. So, man, Flair wants to do an angle with you. I says, okay, that's cool. And we kept, our territory didn't drop, because they were grooming us to go with the Midnight Express. No, always going with and this is what's so great, because we just finished our thing with the Midnight Express.
Right.
They were grooming us to get ready for the Four Horsemen. So just so happened with me wrestling Flair and me and Robert wrestling a Four Horsemen, it just right time, right place, bro.
Yeah.
Everything fell right into place. To be there, to me, Flair was the best world champion there ever was and ever will be. It's because how he worked and how he carried himself. And
yeah, no,
I seen him the other day, man. I seen him the other day. He was in the dressing room. He said, "No, this man in the dressing room was still the longest long." I thought I'd die. He don't give a shit. I thought I would die. You hear me? Oh, boy, look at your eyes.
What? So the time when you guys were really blowing up was not long before WWF started taking everything over and everything started changing, and they had that golden era of WWF talent. Was there ever a time?
Yeah, all them came from Memphis.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm getting to. Was there a time in there when you guys were looking at going to WWF possibly, or was it just too good where you're at?
No. We were at the time. You know what? And my dad told me this. Ricky's, because he's in the business, and I'm in the car with him. He says, "Listen, tag team wrestling is what's gonna be happening, because all the territories were owned by the baby faces. You could never beat them, and it was all your main events were single matches. Jerry Lawler, he beat everybody in the territory. Bill Watts beat everybody in the territory. See, that's the only thing I hated about territories, because if you was a baby face, you're never going to get over. You're never going to get over Jerry Lawler. See, the Fabulous Ones tried to plant that. But see, Vince come in, and he started the World TV thing. Mm-hmm. And that's when all the promoters got together, come to Memphis to do a big TV show to run against Vince because he was coming in their territories. But you can't fight CD Hall, bro. You know, you can't fight money like Vince had. But they had the big show. And see, at that time, Robert and I were playing second fiddle to the Fabulous Ones. You know, they were Jerry Jarrett's boys. We were Jerry Lawler's boys.
Okay.
The Fabulous Ones hated Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was, you know, it's just the reason I left. But my dad told me about tag team wrestling. So I started out with Eddie Gilbert. No, I started out with Sonny King. I don't know if you know Sonny King. If none of you guys know who Sonny King is, you need to go do your wrestling history. That's another thing that pisses me off, you guys. You don't understand. A lot of them don't even know how our business started, but that's another podcast. But you've got to understand our business and know the history of our business and know it. And then I was with Eddie Gilbert, and then me and Ken, when Eddie Gilbert went out to Oklahoma for Lee Romer Girk, and then we came back there, and then I teamed up with Ken Lucas because Eddie, you know, he was going on his own again. He turned heel. And Ken Lucas, people say, Ricky Morton, you are one of the greatest baby faces in the world. So Ken Lucas was the greatest baby face in the world. And he was. That's where I learned my fire from. That's where I learned everything from it, how to sell. I went to school, dude. You hear me?
Yep.
I went with him for 2 years to go to school to learn. I never, you know, and that's what makes my ass want to dip Redman. You know, these guys hadn't been into business enough to know how to carry a territory. They don't know. You just can't stick somebody in a place. But our business has been at the right place at the right time. But you got to know what you're doing. And that's what happened to Robert and I. Because they had that big show and all the promoters were there. And we even got beat that night because, you know, we wasn't the Fabulous Ones. And they was having a big meeting. And I never forget this. This is the greatest thing in the world. Eddie Graham owned Florida.
Yep.
All right. They're having a big meeting. They got all the boys in there. Man, the show did great. But Eddie Graham stood up. He says, I don't know about y'all, but I watched all the matches. Getting cold chills here on me, buddy, when I'm going to say this. He says, y'all got you guys and you got this guys right here, but I watched the tag team tonight, the Rock and Roll Express, that got beat, and they were the greatest thing I've ever seen. That's who you need to use. But see, the Fabulous Ones are the ones in Memphis, but Bill Watts was there. And Bill Watts was retired in his territory. He wanted a booker that didn't work because your booker would push himself.
Right.
That's the reason other territories didn't get. The booker pushes theirself. You hear me? He wanted something different. And at that time, it was Nikolai Volkov and Barry Dorso, Crusher Khrushchev. They were a tag team in there. And Bill Dundee took the book over, and Bill's over in Memphis, and he did the book there for a long time too, and he understood. And the same thing, Bill come to me, he says, man, Ricky, this is what I want you to come to Louisiana with me. Then you'll see. And you know, and down there, the guys had the big man complex because Bill Watts told them that. I forget who the top baby face was when we got there. It might have been Abdullah the Butcher. Because the reason why is because Bill Watts had just beat him in the angle, and you got to turn him babyface. You hear me?
Yep.
To bring another heel in for him to beat Abdullah for Bill Watts to wrestle him. You see what I'm talking about? It's a chain reaction thing. But hell, so Bill Dundee, man, we shot videos, and they shot him in there about 2 weeks before us. And dude, in this world, always remember this. Restaurants, liquor, and women. It always sells.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, buddy, you know, our first night was in Lafayette, Louisiana, for Bill Watson. Man, we got there, dude, and traffic was backed up for 3 miles. I know it had to be.
Wow.
Now, but I don't know. I didn't know they was going to the wrestling. And we get there, God, and there people are everywhere, and we pull in the news crews there. And they're introduced to, who are you guys, man? The Rock and Roll Express, we're professional wrestlers. And I'm trying to talk. She says, yeah, but who are you guys? People have camped out here for 2 weeks getting tickets to see you guys.
Holy.
We went from little gymnasiums to the big arenas, to the Superdome in New Orleans. I mean, we wrestled the Road Warriors there and drew 40,000 people.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, they cut the Superdome in half because it held, you know, 90. I mean, but it was something like that. And if you ever, and it went on. And see, we just started something new in the business. Even when we left there and we went to North Carolina when we first come in, because at that time, if you read, and the guys that do interviews, and see, this is why Dusty Rhodes was so great on his interviews, because he kept up with what was going on in the world. He'd go out there and talk about that on TV, and that's why the people loved him. But he kept up, and see, at that time, it was the Russians. We was having, the United States hated the Russians.
Yeah.
Before that time, it was Tojo Yamamoto because, Pearl Harbor, and to watch him wrestle, he'd sneak up on you, sneak attack. You see, everything meant something.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest shit in the world. Yeah, and Barry Dorso would tell you, when Robert and I beat them for the world titles in Shelby, North Carolina that night, he, in all the years of being in WWF, being anywhere, he never heard a pop like that in his life. But it's unbelievable. Our business
seems that
but you beg your pardon?
No, I was saying it seems like that's something that when I watch that stuff, there's not as much today where either the heel or the face are having any kind of hook into the crowd. There's no hooks that's getting them invested.
Because they don't know how to do it. They don't. For one thing, nobody wants to sell because they don't think they're going to get the big contract. They're not going to be the big baby face, or they're not going to be the big heel. They don't know how to tell stories. The guys hurt each other a lot. I know it's all right to work stiff, but you don't got to knock a son of a bitch's head off. You hear me?
Right.
A lot of guys are getting hurt like that. You don't got to do that.
Did you see that video this week from Japan? The guy taking a clothesline, and then the guy continues to give him like 3 moonsaults with his knees on the guy's chest. The guy's out cold, stiff as a board, and he's just landing on him over and over and over and killing the guy. And they just kept going with it.
Yeah. You see, but what does that do? I want to bet you in Japan it don't draw money.
Yeah, I know.
I've been to Japan. Yeah, I know. The biggest, I had a big run in Japan. And Terry Funk got me. I was over there. That's something I'm going to work with Terry.
Was this when you went over
for FMW?
Oh,
no, this is for FMW.
Oh, okay, not the All Japan stuff back.
Oh yeah, but he said, Ricky, tonight let's do something different. Because I bleed there every night. I had to, but it's because of our business drawing money, and I didn't do it to be somebody I'm not. And I hate people today that you on these independent shows, they get color, and I'm going, why? Because your girlfriend's watching. Why? That's what sold out houses. That was what my business is about. That's what did things for our job. We only did that when it meant something. But I'm working with Terry Funk. He said, let me get the heat on you like we do at home. And you sell. But don't die. The next thing I know, boy, then people are screaming. I never seen nothing like that. I keep kicking out and keep doing it. And boom. They're going, Rick-a-san, Rick. And it got so loud. And then when Terry screwed me in the match, you see, after all that ass whooping I took and I didn't die, he still had to screw me to beat me.
Yeah.
And then that's when the Japanese people went, holy shit, this is something different. I got a bigger pop by standing on my feet and him raising my hand by myself.
Right.
Then the fucking hoe, because it was different. But see, that worked because I was one of the luckiest guys in the world, the right time, the right place, because there was a guy there named Hayabusa that did every angle in the world, and they were looking for a tag team partner for him. And dude, I fell right into place. Get heat on me and give him the hot tag. Son of a bitch. Oh God, I went there 18 times in 1 year.
Oh,
and wow. That's a record. I guess. Man, I don't know.
You worked for All Japan as well?
I just here in the States.
Oh, okay. It wasn't.
No. I did the ones here in the States. I worked for Baba.
Yeah.
When I first got over All Japan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then I went back for FMW. New Japan. Is that what you're talking about, New Japan?
No, I was asking about All Japan because I actually wanted to ask you about Baba.
Who's All Japan? Okay, yeah, okay. I worked for Baba.
Okay, how'd you enjoy working for him? How did you like Baba in general?
Oh, I loved working for their company until Johnny Laurinaitis come in.
Oh, yeah?
Johnny's, but the dude, he's one of those guys that's stricken with the power. You hear me?
Yep.
And it's, and then you didn't have a chance. You could, he wouldn't even let you talk to Miss Baba. You know what I'm saying? Scared.
Yeah, I'm asking. That's actually more from my grandmother. My grandmother actually knew Giant Baba briefly. He trained in our hometown, Crystal Beach, Ontario, Canada, with Fred Atkins. When he was over here, I think in the 60s. And she got to meet Baba, and she became friends with him. And years later, she didn't even know he was famous. Years later, when he passed away, she's seen it online or something. And she says, "Oh my God, he became like famous." And then now she found out what he had become, that, this huge thing.
Oh, in Japan, God, brother. He was, he was a rock star, movie star in Japan, dude.
Yeah.
But Baba was a, man, I love Baba. He was cool. Now, at one time, Baba, I didn't know. I can't speak Japanese. I can't read the papers. So I don't know what's going on. So he asked me and Robert, he says, "You play ball?" I said, "Yeah, I play ball." He said, "Okay, tomorrow, 1:00, because we was off that day, pick you up at the hotel." Well, I don't know. Dude, I thought we was going to get together, have a picnic, play some softball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hi, damn, a limousine picks us up, man. We go into the Tokyo Dome. And we're celebrity guest guys for the Tokyo Giants. You hear me? We go into a room, and they fit us with uniforms and sliding pads and shoes and hats. And they had 2 celebrities on each team. And me and Robert were there. Bubba was there. And that's when I was young. See, I could run like a son of a bitch. I got walked to first. I stowed all the way home. I swear to God, stowed home. And it was great. I stowed on the wild pitch, but it was, but I stowed from first to second to third, then I stowed home.
So you've not only wrestled in every major show in the world, you've also played baseball in the Tokyo Dome.
Yes, sir. And, oh, yeah, man, I got all this. I got that on tape somewhere, dude. I need to get all that shit out. When I write my book, I will get all that stuff out. And
are you planning on writing a book?
Yes, I'm going to write a book, but I got to wait till I retire to do it. Jesus Christ, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad social media wasn't back then.
Yeah.
But I didn't really do nothing wrong. Just things were different back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude. Robert and I were rock stars.
Yeah,
dude. I could tell you stories. You know what? That's the reason I really don't tell a lot of stories, because you tell them, they go all bullshit. Okay, especially when you go home and high school reunion, you tell me a story. I tell them a story. Oh, that ain't true. All right, don't ask me no more.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You die. Hey, now how long was that true? That was just only one fucking night, dude. And then one night out of 30 years. Okay.
All right, man. All right, I want to get into this real quick because it's got to be talked about. School of Morton.
Yes.
I know we've talked a little bit about it. You got the show Sunday, but tell me a little more about the School of Morton. I've never been. I've never my time down. It's in Tennessee, right?
Yeah, it's we're in East Tennessee. It's over by Greenville, Tennessee. If you look, but it's but my school is located in a little town called Chucky, Tennessee. There's not but 2 buildings in the whole town.
Okay,
and that's why I love it. Glenn Jacobs Kane, he's the mayor of Knoxville, not too far away. He came up to my school one day. He goes, "How in the hell did you find this place?" It's just an old building out in the middle of nowhere, and I'm telling you, I started out with a homemade ring. I didn't have the money. I didn't make the big money. I never had a contract in this business. And what little money I did make, my first wife took every bit of that. Well, house and everything, but it's all right. I started out with a homemade 14-foot ring just in a little corner of the building because I only rented that spot, but the rest of the building had shit all in it, junk. And gradually, I got people coming and I got it bigger. Then finally, I got my first real wrestling ring. Okay, now my School of Morton, I have 3 rings, big rings in it. I have one on the trailer when we do shows because it really got over. And see, in our world, you can't train like it's 1976 and 1985. That's the reason I do good. I make my school a special place. My door's open. I don't care if you're red, blue, green, black, white. I don't care what gender you are. When you step through my door, we're all the same. And we learn together. And I do more than teach about wrestling because I have a lot of young, I got a kid there. He's a Jungle Boy. He's the original Jungle Boy. The one on AEW is not. He started me when he's a little kid. You hear me? And he's 13 years old now. And I promise you, he's just as good as Ricochet. He's on TV. I'm serious, dude. But it was a thing like him, though. If he don't do good on his grades, I don't let him train.
Oh, wow.
And I try to teach how important your education is in our business. I try to teach, and it's hard. We're down in the South, and it's like my son. I have a son that's, he grew up in the wrestling business on the road with me. I raised him. He wants to be a wrestler. He didn't play football in high school because he didn't want to hurt his knees and shoulders. He wanted to prepare for professional wrestling. So he cheerleaded his junior year in high school because his senior year, everything was, it shut down in March right during all the
right.
He got a 4-year scholarship
for cheerleading. No shit. Yes. Wow.
Fully paid ride.
Good for him.
He made the dean's list.
Wow.
This time. But see, and I'm trying to make him understand. Look at the guys in the business that make millions of dollars in our business now. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, John Cena. Just for instance, The Rock.
Yep.
All these guys have got super educations. You understand? You've got master degrees. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, know that. Yeah, I'm aware. Yeah.
Oh yes, dude. I mean, but see, it's like me. I could have made a little bit of money, but I wasn't educated enough to know that the promoters were just screwing me, stealing, robbing us blind. You understand me? I didn't know I was on that high with that run. I didn't stop, and now I look back. But if I was only educated enough to know that they totally screwed us,
right?
So, how do we get to there?
Well, no, but
how do we get to this?
You're preparing your kids at the School of Morton more than just wrestling and more than just taking a bump.
But if you get a chance, this Sunday, now I would not be there because not this Sunday, January the 3rd.
January 3rd.
When
okay.
I start back. Yeah, but see, because what I did, I have a live show every week.
Yeah.
But we had to shut down because of the COVID virus. So I went back 7 weeks. It started my shut tapes over again. So when I got to January the 3rd, we're right back where we were at. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So January the 3rd, but I won't be there, but I'll be putting the show together. I go into the hospital the next day, not for nothing serious.
Oh, good.
But I can't be there around even the boys. Even if we don't have a crowd in there, I can't go into the hospital with COVID virus or anything like that. So
be safe.
But it's great. But when we were going, God, man, our show got over so good. We even had people from Florida call us. We did shows in Florida. I mean, because it was on YouTube, and they said, Jesus Christ, man, you got the old wrestler. We like that. You know, I got the big fat heels. I got the guys but they know how to get heat. And God, they want to kill them every week. I get the girls. I tell stories from week to week. I tell stories from week to week. You know, and I had a bad situation with one guy. I had to, he got mad at me. And I told him, I said, dude, I'm not even beating you. I'm wanting you to screw the baby face that you got an angle with for this other guy can walk with him, but he lost his mind. I said, what you thought about for 5 seconds in your life, I've been thinking about for 2 months, trying to tell this story. And he's the only guy. I told him that I didn't need him there no more, but he's welcome to come back. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he don't understand. I told him to go home. When you figure my business out, you come back. All right. And read that sign out front. It's called School of Morton. All right. No, but it's really cool. And besides that, it's a museum.
You got stuff in there.
Oh, dude. I kept everything for 40 years.
Wow. I haven't kept anything in the little bit of time I've been around. I kept nothing.
I got all the boys' autographed pictures. I always did that.
Yeah.
Robert come in there one time. He goes, God, man, would you get that autographed picture of Andre the Giant? And I said, when you was calling me a mark.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In front of the boys.
You know what? I'm the same way as I've never in my life ever asked anyone for a picture in the locker room ever in my life. Just out of almost embarrassment. I didn't want to, step on toe.
No, buddy, I did.
You did.
I got them.
Yeah. Good for you. Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Y'all see the Ric Flair stuff I got. I even stuff that I don't even tell. Like one night, Dusty Rhodes took his elbow pad and threw it in the trash. I wonder where he got it. It's in there in my room, right? It's somewhere.
Yeah.
I did a lot of things. I got a pair of Ric Flair tights in there. I have tights that I wore years ago, except for one pair because I had a pair hanging up in my school.
Yep.
With the magazine. On the magazine was the same one, and a guy comes in. He goes, what do you want for that up there, those tights in that book? I said, they're not for sale. And he went out to his car and came back with a stack of money this big, and I counted it. And I said, let me get a ladder, get up there and get that down for you, son.
Yeah, of course, and, yeah, the right price.
So, gosh, bro, I couldn't believe, but it's cool. I mean, it's I have a lot of guys come in that just want to go through. They walk around, just look at the shit. Glenn Jacobs did that, man. I got pictures of him in there back in Smoky Mountain. I got, it's unbelievable, this stuff I got.
Where can people find the School of Morton online?
It's on Facebook, School of Morton.
Facebook on School of Morton. Okay, where can people find you?
On Twitter, Real Ricky Morton.
Real Ricky. Okay.
Facebook, Ricky Morton. Instagram, Real Ricky Morton. I guess I'm proud of.
Okay, everything's on there.
I just type in Ricky Morton, and about 46,000 things will pop up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure anybody types your name in. Real good. Okay, all right.
I enjoy, but see, even after all these years, and it's not a part. It still is to me because I didn't make the big money, but I love what I do. You understand me?
Yeah.
I love teaching. I love teaching guys that are willing to learn.
Yeah.
And to listen. and to try to get the message that I'm trying to send to them. You know, what really kills me, 9 out of 10 people think they know everything about our business, but truly they don't know shit. And I'm not kidding you.
No, I believe it.
You know, I've seen guys, and it really just blew my mind. You know, to watch WCW and to watch a guy take that over and put it $600 million in the hole. How can you do that? I don't understand. But paying itself, that's what killed me. Took away one of the greatest things in our world to us. And, you know, but somebody else up and backed up. If you're out there, guys, man, thank you for having me on the show. You hear me? I don't know. What time is it? Do you know?
No, we just did an hour, so that's perfect.
No, did you? Okay.
Yep.
But I love to come back sometimes. If you're ever down this area, please contact me. You got my number?
Yep. Yeah, I'll definitely get a hold of you.
Oh, yeah. I'd love for you to come to school, man. You would really
I was just going to tell you, when
it's
things calm down.
in the middle of nowhere. It's an old place, and it's... When you walk through the door, you understand it's special. There's a vibe when you walk in there. It's like, holy shit. You know, this is, this is the business.
No, that's the deal, man. That's as soon as this border opens up and we're allowed to travel down, I'll tell you what, we're going to bring a carload down, and we're going to come check you out and check out a show. Yeah. And, you know, we'll bring maybe 3 or 4 of us Canuck wrestlers down, and we'll come see you.
Oh, buddy, I'd love for you to. I mean, I have a TV show every week. You can't believe. Watch it Sunday. Yeah. I mean, the following Sunday.
January 3rd.
Oh, watch it this Sunday. Watch it this Sunday. It'll be the last tape I did. Then you can see what's happening next week.
Perfect.
The week after, for the 3rd, is because, you know, a lot of independent guys come in because they want to learn, and they want to be on TV. You hear me?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Ricky. Have a good night,
Buddy, you too. Bye.
See ya.